Have you ever wondered how to propagate Boston ferns? Boston ferns, with their lush, feather-like fronds and intricate patterns, have long been adored for their beauty and resilience. They're like the showstoppers of the plant kingdom, adding a touch of tropical elegance to any space they grace. But did you know these popular houseplants hold an intriguing secret? Yes, they do. They have not one, not two, but three main methods of creating new plants, or as we like to call it, propagation. These methods include separating runners, a process that involves gently teasing apart the baby ferns growing at the base of the parent plant, root divisions, which is akin to giving your fern a haircut and then planting the trimmings, and finally, spore propagation, a more complex method that involves collecting and germinating the tiny spores found underneath the fern's fronds. Intrigued? You should be. Join us as we explore the fascinating process of Boston fern propagation. Ever notice those tiny ferns growing at the base of your Boston fern? Those are runners, my friends, and they're your ticket to new plants. Let's talk about these little guys. The process of separating runners is quite straightforward, but it requires a keen eye and a gentle touch. You want to start by identifying healthy ferns. They're usually vibrant in color, with a lush, full appearance. The runners, themselves, will be sprouting from the base of these ferns, reaching out like tiny green fingers. Next, you'll want to cut away any dead foliage. This includes any leaves that look discolored, wilted, or dry. Remember, you're giving these runners a fresh start, so it's important to remove any signs of decay or disease. Use a sharp, clean pair of garden shears for this task, and always cut at the base of the stem to avoid causing unnecessary stress to the plant. Now comes the delicate part: separating the roots. This needs to be done gently to avoid damaging the roots. Using your fingers, tease the roots apart, ensuring each runner has a good amount of root attached. If they're particularly stubborn, you can use a pair of tweezers to help you out. But remember, be gentle. Once you've separated your runners, it's time to plant them in well-draining soil. This is crucial for the health of your new plants, as Boston ferns do not like to sit in water. Choose a pot with drainage holes and fill it with a rich organic soil mix. Make a small hole, place your runner in it, and gently cover the roots with soil, and there you have it. You've successfully separated a runner. Now all that's left to do is to give it a bit of water, place it in a spot with bright, indirect light, and watch it grow. With a little patience and care, your runners will soon grow into beautiful Boston ferns. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous, why not try root divisions? It's like creating clones of your favorite plant. Now, root divisions might sound like a complicated term, but it's basically just plant multiplication. So how do we achieve this? Well, let's dive in. You start by gently removing your Boston fern from its pot. Now this can feel a bit like performing surgery on your beloved plant, but fear not, your fern is tougher than it looks. Once you've got your plant out of the pot, you'll notice a network of roots. These are the lifeblood of your fern, supplying it with nutrients and water. Now here's where the fun begins. You're going to be dividing these roots into smaller sections. Each section should have a good amount of healthy leaves and roots. It's like you're dividing a cake, but instead of slices, you're creating more little cakes. Now, you've got your root sections ready. What's next? You're going to need some pots. Not just any pots though, make sure they have good drainage. Fill these pots with fresh soil. This is your new plant's new home. Now comes the exciting part. Place each root section into a new pot. It's like your plant is moving into a new apartment. Cover the roots with soil, but make sure to leave the leaves exposed. Once you've got your divisions all potted up, it's time to give them a good drink. Water them thoroughly. This helps the roots settle in and start their new life in their new pot. And voila, you've just created new plants from your old one. It's a bit like magic, isn't it? But remember, these new plants need the same love and care as the original one. And there you have it. You've just cloned your Boston fern. Now you're not just a plant parent, you're a plant grandparent. How cool is that? Our final method takes us back to the plant's humble beginnings: spore propagation. It may sound complicated, but trust me, it's a journey worth embarking on. Spore propagation is like a time machine, taking you back to the very start of a Boston fern's life cycle. The first step is to collect spores. These are the tiny dust-like particles found on the undersides of mature fern fronds. They're not always visible to the naked eye, but if you look closely, they can often be seen as small brown patches. Once you've collected the spores, it's time to prepare their new home. A suitable growing medium is crucial for successful spore propagation. Something that drains well but retains moisture is ideal. You could use a mix of peat moss and perlite, or even a commercial seed starting mix. After you've prepared the medium, gently sprinkle the spores on top. Remember, they're microscopic, so you won't need a lot. Just a light dusting will do. Now here's where things get a little steamy. To provide optimal germination conditions, you'll want to create a mini greenhouse environment. This could be as simple as placing a clear plastic bag over the pot to maintain humidity. Keep the temperature steady, somewhere between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit is perfect. Then, it's a waiting game. Patience is key here, as it can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months for the spores to germinate. But the result? A tiny forest of Boston ferns, each one a testament to your green thumb. And voila, you're now a certified Boston fern breeder? Now that you've propagated your Boston ferns, how do you care for them? Let's unravel this mystery. So, you've got your newly propagated Boston ferns and they're ready to start their new life. But what next? How do you ensure they thrive and grow into the luscious green plants they're meant to be? Well, it's all about creating the ideal conditions for them, and here's how. First off, let's talk about light. Boston ferns love bright, indirect light. That's right, they aren't fans of the spotlight, they prefer to chill in the background. So find a spot in your home where they can enjoy a lot of light, but not directly. A north or east-facing window could be just the ticket. Now let's move on to temperature. These ferns prefer a cozy environment with temperatures between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Too cold, and they might catch a chill. Too hot, and they could wilt. So keep that thermostat in check. Humidity is also a big deal for Boston ferns. They love a good steam room, so high humidity levels are a must. You might want to consider placing them in your bathroom or kitchen where humidity tends to be higher. If that's not an option, a humidity tray or a room humidifier could be your new best friend. Next up, soil. Well-draining soil rich in organic matter is the way to go. This ensures that water doesn't stagnate around the roots, preventing root rot, and the organic matter provides the nutrients they need to grow. And finally, watering. Regular watering is essential to keep your Boston ferns happy. But remember, they don't like to sit in water. So make sure to drain any excess after watering. Armed with these tips, you're well on your way to becoming a Boston fern whisperer. So there you have it, folks. The secrets to propagating and caring for Boston ferns. We've journeyed through the lush, verdant world of these beloved houseplants, exploring the three main propagation methods: separating runners, root divisions, and the intriguing, almost magical, spore propagation. Each method, while unique, shares the common threads of patience and a nurturing touch. Remember, the care of Boston ferns doesn't stop at propagation. Providing these green gems with bright, indirect light, temperatures between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, high humidity levels, and nutrient-rich soil will ensure they continue to flourish and brighten your home. And let's not forget about the importance of regular watering and overall plant TLC. Like any living being, Boston ferns reciprocate the love and care they receive, rewarding their caregivers with lush, vibrant fronds. Thank you for joining us on this green journey. Share this video with your fellow plant enthusiasts, and don't forget to subscribe for more plant propagation secrets.